the party, so they have to request a ballot for the primary. And I think this might bring them in so that they can actually start seeing a little bit more than what they see on the news or what they see in the newspaper.
Or what they see on Facebook, which unfortunately seems to be what everybody is paying attention to. Oh, if it's on Facebook, it must be true.
It must be true.
No, that was a blog site. That wasn't a news site, people.
So is there a website and everything set up for this?
In fact, actually, if you go to the PAFCO website, PAFCO/We the People, we want just one landing page for now. Mm-hmm. Things are going very quickly. We don't have some big flashy site, anything like that. But we do have that is where you can find, for now, the list of our sponsors and our list of our or where you can purchase your ticket. Now, when these are $35 tickets, so it's a really, really good deal. But if you're a student, they're $20. I should say that. But if you can afford more than $35, let's say you pay $40, that extra $5 is going to go to a scholarship fund, so we can get some of these folks who might even have a hard time. Some of the young activists, maybe some of the dreamers and such.
Mm-hmm. Well, that'd be good.
We'll get them in there.
Yeah, because what I was going to do is I'm going to get the flyers and everything, and at our next LD16 meeting, I'm going to make sure everybody has a flyer. We're going to start putting it out on Progressive Voices. We're going to put it out on LD16. Pretty much anything that we have our hands on, we're going to start kind of spreading the word. Because, both of us have talked about this, and we think it's very important, especially in keeping the momentum that we've gained so far moving forward. We were looking at seeing if we could actually afford to be sponsors, but, well, we're kind of poor Democrats, so it doesn't work that well for us. But we definitely are going to get the tickets, and we're going to be there.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. We need everybody there. And sponsorships range. This is not a cheap thing to put on, to use the Phoenix Convention Center. So we are. Sponsorships range from $500 to $10,000 title sponsorship. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, we were looking at the $500 because we're
like, can we do
and we know most people are.
Yeah.
So we're still going to try to raise money. We're going to try to raise money because we would like to be a sponsor for this because it would be really cool.
Well, and sponsors get you'll get 2 passes and you'll get a table. So one of the things we are going to do as well is going to be organizational speed dating. So we're going to have one big room with all these people representing all these organizations. So when you walk in, you'll be able to, just you'll go from one person to another, just like they do in speed dating. Actually, I don't know. I've never done a speed dating thing, so I don't know what I'm talking about in that regard. But I assume that's what you do. You go from one person to another, and you just get a little bit about them. And I think for those people who just don't even know where to start, feel a little frozen, it'll be really helpful. Because what I tell people who come to me and say, I want to do something, I don't know where to start, I'm overwhelmed, I just tell them, go online, pick 3 organizations, and go to each of their meetings. No big deal. Doesn't mean you have to commit forever. And if you don't like it, don't go again. Go to another meeting. And whatever really inspires you, that's where you're going to want to work anyway.
Right.
So, and I think the other thing we want to say about this conference is there are many, many thousands of people in the nonprofit sector who have said, for years, for decades, have said, well, we don't want to become active because we don't want to, endanger our 501c3 status and whatnot. And we have to remind them that being active in the community does not endanger your status. If you are an employee of some 501c3 organization, go do whatever you want on your free time. Have a good time. It's fine. So folks get kind of spooked, and that ends up helping the people who I think most hurt this state. That's a very convenient thing for them to keep people out of the process.
Right. Yeah. And that's not a good thing. because we need more people in the process.
Yeah.
So if you guys want Democratic district piece, well, I'll be happy to represent LD16 at the speed dating. That's fine. It'll be fun.
You know, that speed dating kind of reminds me of the Adobe Forum. I mean, it was like the coolest thing.
Yeah, we did a forum out here where each candidate had 8 minutes at a table with like 5 or 6 people.
But you don't know
you don't know who they are, what their affiliation is.
It's like mixed crowd, each table.
Yeah.
But so like every 8 minutes, you jump from table to table.
Yeah, that's what it was. So that could be fun. So, no, I know you have someplace you need to go. So, we'll go ahead and call it here for you. We really do appreciate your time tonight.
Yes, thank you.
This is the kind of information that we try to get out to people on a regular basis, and having somebody that's actually doing this, bring the message, makes it home for people. So we really appreciate your time.
I'm happy to help. What y'all are doing is very important. We need more voices out there. We need people engaged. Turn off their social media for a little bit, turn on their ears, and listen to what's going on around them. So I congratulate you for what you're doing.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cut to our PSAs.
Thanks, you too, and have a good time at your event.
We'll be back in about 3 minutes or so, and we'll talk about some of the stuff that's been happening at the legislature.
Are you worried about what your money is paying for when you pay your insurance bill? How many times have you seen a company or agent helping a cause you disagree with? It happens again and again and again. Progressives who want to make sure that they are helping the issues they care about have an agent on their side. Matthew Serra is here to help you save money on your insurance and give you the comfort of mind knowing that you are supporting causes that you hold dear. To see if he can save you money, contact him at 602-753-8574. Make sure you are saving money today.
My name is Scott Pryor, chair of Arizona's LD16 Democrats. One of the things I have noticed since I became active in politics in 2012 is that people in general have increased their value of political affiliation over the value of humanity and community. Interpersonal communication has become more defined by our online communications and less defined by our face-to-face interactions. This has drastically reduced our ability to empathize with one another and find common ground to create real conversation and real solutions. If you frequent Facebook or Twitter or some of the other social media websites, you will see that many people are referring to each other as liberals or conservatives or libtards or Republicans. And many times, what starts as a real logical conversation becomes useless as people move from logical discourse to online shouting matches and name-calling. This type of behavior really must change. As chair of the LD16 Democrats, our local party will begin moving in a new direction. Instead of focusing on political change, we will begin focusing on changing ourselves and our communities. We will attempt to work together with others to help create better communication through cooperation, such as food and clothing drives, friendly competitions such as bowling, riflery, softball games, and yes, even karaoke. Our goal is to try to take the political affiliation out of the primary focus of all of our communications and start treating people as individuals, neighbors, and friends. As a gesture of this new focus, I will begin working to provide free educational seminars to the public, which will give people the proper tools necessary to not only participate in the state governmental process, but also interact with the different committees and legislators that are at the Capitol to represent us. I look forward to the future and hope that we can all begin to work together to create better solutions for all the people in our community. And welcome back, folks. Thanks for staying with us. We appreciate it. That was the Honorable even though he told me not to say that, Honorable Representative Ken Clark.
Well, and then you said it twice. You heard what happened. Well, no, we never did actually
We never did
hear
hear what happened.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it was great for him to be on the show tonight. The information that he gave us and gave all of our listeners is just an awesome thing. We need to focus on building the momentum. We can't let it die. We have to keep going. Now, one of the things is Ken, of course, or Representative Clark, has been busy at the legislature. And we've got some friends that are at the legislature. Ken Clark, of course, Pamela Hanley. There's quite a few legislative people that we actually know personally that are at the legislature right now that have been
Funny
fighting,
how that works.
fighting an uphill battle. Yeah, when you run for office for 6 years times 2, you tend to know people who are in office down there. They've been fighting a very uphill battle, a very one-sided battle. Unfortunately, because here in Arizona, we don't believe in working together. We believe in doing it one way, which is the majority's way, and the hell with everybody else. Which leads us to some of the things that has happened this past week. I don't know if Governor Ducey has signed the bill yet, but apparently they believe that fixing our teacher shortage in Arizona is a matter of letting anybody who can breathe and maybe make it to a school teach. I have friends all over the country that I went to school with that spent years to get their teaching certificates and teaching degrees, and this just ruins it for anybody that has worked so hard to get a teaching degree, because now Kukla, Fran, and Ollie can be teachers. And for those of you that understand that reference, thanks for making me not feel that old. It's just horrible. I mean, I understand that there is a teacher shortage in Arizona, but that teacher shortage is created by our legislature for just completely defunding education, for destroying education, for not giving, seriously, a 0.4% raise from the governor this year for teachers. I mean, 0.4%?
Hey, why don't all you government officials who are getting free health care and God knows all the other shit you're getting, why don't you give that up and dump that into a pool so the people that are actually trying to educate our youth can actually fucking do it? Having somebody stand in front of a classroom and read something out of a book that's probably whitewashed, rewritten, whatever, that's not teaching.
27 minutes. It took 27 minutes for you to reach the F-bomb. That's pretty good.
You know, that is pretty damn good.
Usually it happens a little bit earlier than that, but you're absolutely correct. Our teachers are some of the least respected people in our state by our legislature. By part of our legislature, I should say, because we have a lot of people in the legislature that are actually very pro-teacher, as we all should be. Our teachers are the ones who are teaching our children how to become adults and productive members of society. And it's like the people that should be paid the most, at least from my point of view, is like the police, the fire departments, ambulance services, the people that work in the hospitals, not the doctors, but necessarily, but the actual support staff, and of course teachers. Because without any of those, this would be one wrecked country. I mean, literally.
Definitely. I mean, if you think about it, teachers are where it all starts. I mean, I'm not saying that you go to a classroom to learn how to be a doctor. To some degree you do, there is some practical, but at the end of the day, think about all the professions where people are heroes and help people. It all comes down to learning.
Right.
Somebody has to teach that. Not necessarily in a high school classroom, but it all comes down to teachers. Without teachers,
what do we have?
What do we have?
Yeah, we have nothing. Oh, no, we have homeschooling. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So somebody who can barely spell their name
is teaching their kids how to
kids.
be productive members
That's
of society.
That's so awesome. I'm sure they're going to be the next president.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Well, no, wait. Don't go there, because that's already happened. Wow. But yeah, I mean, our teachers have been just beaten down in Arizona, and now we've even made it worse. What was it? I can't remember which. I think it was a representative. It could have been a senator, but it was a representative that talked about it's great, that teachers can go out there and, that they have the ability to get a second job. It's like, well, why should they have to get a second job? Why should anybody have to get a second job to be able to survive? Oh, well, because we need to, put those corporate tax
Especially
breaks.
all us liberal paid activists. I mean, geez, I don't even know why we're on the air. We could just be jetting off to Hawaii and eating and drinking Mai Tais